Hello, everybody. We are live today. It is Friday, the 12th of July, and I am so excited to welcome you here. Who is loving summer and who is getting over summer? I know for me, I still am loving it, but I can't help but in the back of my mind just feel that little bit that's starting to look forward to fall, which is hilarious because it truly just feels like summer just started on July 1st, which is Canada Day. That is actually when our weather turned, and then we had a heat wave. So tell me where you are, what you're drinking. I am on Vancouver Island and I am drinking some fizzy water. And hello, Kelsey. She is here. More tea, please. She says good morning. And yeah, it's funny because we just had a heat wave and it finally has just let up a little bit to the point where it was like I think it was about 34 at my house most days. And that we actually are very lucky. We have a heat pump which keeps the cold air, it keeps it sort of like a bit air conditioned, but it couldn't even keep up. So tell me what the weather's like where you are, all of the things. I just was chatting with a client from Australia the other day. I should have asked her what the weather is, but even then, even though it's like winter there, I still don't think it's like usually that bad, especially like on the Gold Coast. So yes, let's see. Noby Woby. I feel the same. It's so hot in Alabama drinking lemonade. Oh my gosh. Yes. Karen Sanders says hell. Yeah, you know what? Uh, I grew up in a spot of BC where it would get really hot. It would be like 40 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. So hot. And I'm very lucky that where we are, it's not that bad usually. And that's actually why we ended up going the air conditioning route because it burned me out for heat. I love summer. I'm in Southern Illinois. Yes, I am loving it. And my garden is loving it. I went out there just the other day in the middle of the heat wave and I was like, like um my corn is growing so quickly right now. I love it. My tomatoes, everything. It's so lovely. And actually yesterday, I was supposed to say hello. um yesterday I actually was like, I gotta harvest my garlic. So my son and I harvest our garlic. If you have any tips for how to make your garlic cloves bigger, hit me up because I am like, why are they just always small? I feel like maybe I just didn't fertilize at all. That might be it. I put in it was brand new soil because we expanded our garden. If you saw thank you. If you saw the tour I did, it was like half that size last year. And honestly, the soil I put in the first time I got it, it was amazing. This time, not so good. Not so good. Thank you for your content. Thank you. Lisa says it's hot here, 90 degrees, give or take, usually. Yikes. Yeah. So that's probably what it was during our heat wave. We actually had a heat wave a couple years ago where it got to 40 degrees, which is a lot for Vancouver Island and like the Vancouver area. And oh my gosh, like people here, they just couldn't cope. I mean, and I was one of them. And our heat pump broke, so then we didn't have air conditioning. Near Detroit, super hot, very rainy, Hurricane Barry, so weird. Excuse me. Oh, Beryl, I mean. Um, I know I love an overcast during the summer. West Coast seeds. Yeah, I should check it out. I mean, I buy most of my seeds from them. I just pulled out the garlic and I'm going to put some bush bean seeds in. I already have some bush beans going, but you really can't have too many bush beans. And I want to have something there in the meantime. And I had tried to start brassicas, and I think my greenhouse is just too hot for seeds starting in the summer, even though like the soil is staying damp. And I actually tried to start some scallions and they're not really germinating. I don't know, maybe they just take longer to germinate. I can't remember because normally when I'm germinating seeds like that, it's like February. 115 in SoCal. Oh, yes. Actually, my mother-in-law, who's in her 80s, and a couple of sisters-in-law are going to Las Vegas. They're actually flying out today, and I am worried. I hope she does okay. That's really hot. 115. Oh my gosh, hot in SoCal. Oh, just north of San Diego. Michelin says Debbie from Phoenix trying to survive the heat. Yes, my old editor, she lives near Phoenix. I think she's in Mesa, and she just says that summer is just the worst. Like for us in Canada, winter, where we get like the seasonal affective disorder in Phoenix, that's what she was saying. You let me know if that's how you feel. That people, they just spend the whole time inside and they hate it. Over 100. Oh, all right. I can't help but talk about the weather. It's just something. It's not even small talk for me. I'm like, I am so interested. Oh my gosh. I am so worried about my mother-in-law. Yikes. Ah, goodness. All right. So, how is everybody feeling in like let me know if now is a time when you don't do a lot of stuff inside. Like when it's hot, you don't really want to do anything, right? Do you feel like decluttering? Do you feel like cleaning? Just so I know. Looking at my analytics, a lot of I had some YouTube struggles and things were rebounding and they're kind of going like this again, but I actually am not worried anymore. I was so worried before, but now I know that it can rebound, so I'm like, whatever. And I think part of it truly is that it is July and people probably aren't really paying that much attention to decluttering. So let me know where you are in the area of sort of like cleaning and decluttering. When you do that, most of that. A lot of people, it's more like January, which is like me. Kirsty, hello from Australia. Okay, so I was just talking about Australia. Goodness, what time is it where you are? What is the weather like there? And where are you? Because it's winter, right? Here we're all talking about like being, 100 and 120. What is it like where you are? A regular summer versus a cold snap. All right. Lows are in the 90s. Oh my gosh. Cheers from the scorching heat from the other side of the world, Turkey. Oh my gosh. Okay. I am so sorry, you guys. I'm just like, my brain is like, I'm so excited I get to talk to you. And I have been watching, I don't know if anybody's ever watched Mark Wiens. He's got this food channel. He's the sweetest guy. And he travels around and he eats food. He says like he's a professional eater. And I was like, I just want to go to Turkey so bad. And he did a bunch. Like I actually was watching, he went to Turkey like I think like 7 years ago. So I was watching those. And then he just started posting some again. I was like, oh my gosh, because he's American, but he lives in Thailand. So he goes like mostly like Asia, and he's gone all over, like Africa, all like the US, all over. But yeah, I was just like, my brain is like, oh, turkey. So I was watching that, and then I was starting to cook my family a bunch of food from Turkey. So Kirsty, what does it's freezing mean? Like, is it actually like 0 degrees Celsius, or like what is it? Because here in the winter where I live, it sort of hovers around, I'd say like 3-ish degrees. If it's like really cold where I live, it's -10. But I know a lot of other people, Canadians, it's much, much colder where they are. Like Simone, who is in Quebec, it's like it'll be, well, like what does it get like there? Quebec in Quebec, like -20. Here it's I actually live in like probably one of the warmest spots of Canada. And Kelsey, who is more tea please on here, she lives just on the other over near Vancouver. Definitely. Okay. This is good to hear. Into decluttering right now. Okay. Summer vacation from teaching kindergarten, trying to do Swedish death cleaning, get some work done at the house. Ah, that's so good to hear. I love it. And Michelin says, we are starting a major decluttering project. Every area needs attention. We'll put the shed and garage off until fall when it's cooler. Yes, it is very hard to work on the garage when it's like hot. I always feel like cleaning when it's cool and rainy, love the fall and hate the summer. Totally. Okay. And Simone had said summer equals tiny spurts and a few big pushes of decluttering for me with kids home from school. So 10 to 20 minutes a day works even less well in the summer. Totally. Totally. 5 degrees at the moment, Kirsty says. Okay. All right. That is good to know. -25, Simone says, right? Um, and it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and I think it's nice because it's been so hot all summer. This is a cool front. That's good. Crazy with climate change, though, way more frequent melting these years. Yeah. Yeah. When I was growing up, our winters, like in the interior of BC, it was always very, very, uh, like there was just snow all winter. And now, like, it melts a lot of the time, which is crazy. All right. So thank you for letting me know that. I was definitely curious if people were doing a lot of decluttering. I think like when you're hot and sweaty, you don't feel like doing a lot. And I actually, let me tell you, I'm going to make a video about this on my other channel. And if you're not subscribed to my other channel, it's called Minimalist Home Living, but I think I might change the name because it really is going to mostly be about sort of like lifestyle. Right now for me, perimenopause is huge. I just started the hormone treatment a week ago. So I'm going to make a video about that, about like the first week, because you guys, oh my gosh, if anybody's ever done that, I was not expecting it because I actually had progesterone before and it makes me tired, but this time I put the estrogen in. Oh my gosh, like I was just the biggest thing was just being really tired and really, really, like, word finding. Like, my brain fog was just intense. I'd be talking to people and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like, I cannot think." So, but I'm happy to report that it has resolved a bit, and there have also been some positive improvements. So I'm going to post that about that on my other channel. But one thing I was going to say is that I was like I could not do much. Like, I actually am planning on taking next week off. I don't usually take a lot of vacations right now from my this business here, and was just really feeling like I needed to. And then I was like, I gotta get some stuff done. Excuse me, as I lead up to it. And oh my gosh, I was so tired. And so what I did, because the estrogen I'm using is like this little gel that you put on your thigh, and the progesterone is a pill. And I actually just and I was always taking the progesterone at night because it makes you sleepy. But I put the estrogen on at in the evening too. What a difference that made. So much better. Oh my gosh. Brain fog is no joke. It's no joke. Ah. Oh my gosh. Happy to be done, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you, Cindy. That's good to hear. Decluttering seems difficult right now. Oh my god, protein is your friend. Yes, like I'm like all about the protein. I think that is the one thing that is helping me the most. Hello. Yes, go so subscribe to the other channel because that's going to be a really big part of the content over there right now, because that is like a huge, 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 huge part of my life. Is like it's like going in puberty in reverse. So fun. ADHD and perimenopause are not friends. They are not. I love both of your channels. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys are the sweetest. I'm just like honestly so happy. And actually, so I asked people for questions on my community tab on YouTube. And somebody very sweet said, Robyn, teach us, your viewers, how to help you, obviously to subscribe, but does it help with views, hitting the like button, or both? What about notifications and sharing? I so enjoy you and I want to help your content. That is so sweet. So yes, it has been um it has been a struggle with YouTube this year, but it's getting better and I'm so happy, and I really, really, really appreciate all of the support. There has just been so much support from all of you guys. And I'm just gonna um just like so much love, so much support. And I feel like you have just helped me get through this massively. And I'm just going to put a link for the new channel in the chat here. And I'll also try to remember to put it in the description after. But I feel like I now I'm just not worried. So that's been really good. But how to help, always like hitting the like button is huge. Watching the whole video is always really helpful. And also like watching another video. So it's really funny because when I am I'll put this on the screen. When I am oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. See, this is like the brain fog. Uh Oh, when I'm watching when I'm watching a YouTuber, especially if I know, like, that they have a smaller channel or, like, they're struggling, I will try like, I will watch the whole video, and sometimes, like, I'll put on the second video. Sometimes I just walk away. But they were saying that the problem on mine was that my viewers were letting it run all day, and I was like, "I know that's not what was happening." So I think it was a glitch on that end, and it's no problem. It's fine. Don't you guys worry. So many people were like, "What are we doing something? Is it my fault?" Blah blah blah. It's not your fault. Like you guys are sweet. So hitting like, hitting subscribe is good. A lot of people were unsubscribed, and that was not just with my channel. That was just overall. And I think YouTube just sort of does that. And if I look at like our own um YouTube, because our family, we watch a lot of YouTube. That's actually mostly what we watch. I really like watching videos people have created and different things. You know, I talked about Mark Weens. I love him. I always say I love Max Miller, all of these things. And um, I and so our algorithm is hilarious because it truly is a mix of like four people. Because my oldest doesn't live here; he went to university, and so it's so funny. But yeah, I love, watching it. I love watching YouTube, and I try to support people on it too. So you are very sweet to ask. Thank you so much. Oh yes, and I was going to say like people who have like huge channels, even theirs were unsubscribed. And if I look at our subscriptions, a lot of things like we just don't watch anymore. You know, things change. Um, Thank you so much, Nadia. That is so sweet. And Megan says decluttering in summer slows for me because school is out. That's just it too. And I just like for me in the summer, it's like I like to do a couple of projects. Thank you, Rena. You are so sweet. And Max Miller, he's just the cutest. I just love him. His videos are wonderful. I like to watch like happy things on YouTube. Okay. So another person said, when I actually, I'm going to answer this one first because I know Kelsey has to go. And she says, I can only be there for half an hour. But how can I help my kids maintain momentum? And what can I do on those days when they really, really, really want to work on something that requires my help, but I physically cannot do it because of chronic illness? A couple of things come to mind for me. So the first is actually what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you like my big or like one thing I really want to say about like decluttering and to have success. And I need to give a quick story, and that is that we foster kittens in the summer. So right now we have four little kittens who are just maniacs. I can hear them running in the bathroom right next door. And when they come in for the first day or two, I'm like, I hate this. Why am I doing this? And then I look at the Facebook post from the charity, and the charity's like, we need people to foster kittens so bad. We're so desperate. And I'm always like, oh gosh, okay, yes, this is why I do it. And they're so cute and they're so sweet. And I go in there and they're like, mew, 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 and they're climbing my leg. So when we first get them, I'm always like, like I got to remember all this extra stuff. And then what I do now is part of my morning routine. Like I've mentioned, like I get up, I make tea, I read my Bible, I go, I feed the kittens, I get them fresh water. That seemed like the biggest thing at first. And now it's just part of the daily routine. And that's the thing when you're decluttering is if we're doing a big project, which decluttering is for a lot of people in their houses, is how can you make it a part of the daily routine? and a part where you can't miss it. Like, I can't not feed and water the kittens or they will die, which would be terrible. uh, and boy, would I feel bad. So, how can you make it a part of the daily routine? And so with kids, like I have an Apple Watch. I hate my Apple Watch and I want to get rid of it so bad, but there are so many benefits to having it. And one of them is that I can set timers or alarms. And so at 7 o'clock, I have an alarm that goes off that's like, pick up the house. And I say to the family, pick up the house. And everybody picks up the house. And why I said at 7, it's because most people are here. Summer's crazy, summer's different. Summer's basically survival mode, which I think a lot of us have established when we're talking about our decluttering right now. And so when it comes to family and kids, like how can we help them maintain momentum? The biggest thing is just creating a routine out of things. And I know like you've got ADHD in your family, Kelsey. I have ADHD in my family, and routine, I saw something on Instagram yesterday, and it basically was like with ADHD, like uh schedules feel like a prison, but they actually aren't. They're just so helpful. And once we can actually make that a part of like a healthy habit, a healthy routine, then that just makes everything run so much smoother. So, a great way to help your kids maintain momentum is you could just like have that be a part of the routine. And when I was a kid, we used to go down, we lived in Nelson in the interior of British Columbia, and there was like this old Dairy Queen. You guys remember maybe somebody let me know if you have these too, where you have like a little Dairy Queen that was just like a little shack. Like nobody, you couldn't go in it. It was just like a counter. What do you call those? It was like a stand. And that was like we would go, that was a very special occasion when we went down to the lake, which my parents made us go to every day. And like I'm telling you, it was 40 degrees. Hated it. But they were smart because it was getting us out of the house. Anyway, and we would drive by the Dairy Queen on the way home. We were always like, "Ah." Well, my thought is that wouldn't it be great if it was like, "It's Friday, you did all of your things and I am going to reward you for that." And if your kids are working on a project and you don't have the energy because of chronic illness or whatever, is you can say, "Okay, so today is the day where you or not the day, but today is a day where you get to do this on your own, and I am going to be your advisor. So you will bring these things to me whenever you have a question." So maybe there won't be as much progress. But the important thing is creating that routine, creating the habit. And you guys know, like for me, I love, 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 love when people treat decluttering as a project because that's what it is. But the problem is we get discouraged or overwhelmed or things happen and then we get distracted or waylaid or whatever. And if we can keep that going, then we will get there. As long as you're not bringing more into your house than you are, it's just like losing weight, right? Calories in, calories out, right? In theory. But as long as you're not bringing more into your house than you are bringing out, then I think that the chances of you getting your house decluttered are very good. Like they're basically 100%, as long as you are taking it out a little bit every day. Let's see. Kelsey says not Dairy Queen, but there used to be this old eat in Burger Shack in the sticks that everyone loved. I love it. Let's see. I'm going to catch up here before I get to the next question. I love this rule. Touch it once. Sometimes I touch it for a few years. Hard to let it go, learning how to let it slide out of my hands without overthinking about how to use it. Yes, and I have another question similar to that coming up. But the thing is, yes, like and even just this very morning when I went to feed those kittens, and there's like an old yogurt container that I use to scoop out their food. They are so loud. Like they are so loud. Anyway, um to scoop up the food and I put it in the dish and then I was like, "Oh, their water's gross," of course. So like I pick up their water and I've got this and I'm like and I've my intention truly was just like, I'm just going to leave the dish in the kitchen and I'll deal with it later. And then I was like, "No, I'm going to deal with it now." Like, I never put it down. I just poured it out, got them fresh or poured out the water, got them fresh water, dropped off their water, put the thing back. And that's the thing. It's like, and I've mentioned this before, like if I'm canning and I keep like most of my jars and stuff downstairs, I will have like a flat and I'll be like, "Okay, I'm going to leave it at the top of the stairs." And I'm like, "No, take it down the stairs." And that just makes such a big difference. Um that's great that you can get them to do the decluttering. I love that. And that is actually one of the things I'm going to get my kids to do is go through their old books, like their old kid books. Because like why, right? That's what I do in the summer, only with chickens. Quick morning hygiene, make tea, feed, water, free range chickens. I want to get chickens. And it's funny because I'm like, oh, all the work. And it's probably not that much, right? Just the morning thing. My oldest is pretty minimalist. My 17-year-old is sentimental and gets stressed out and doesn't want to let go. So it's small bits of working on stuff. And that's just it, right? Like everybody's different. I have one kid who would be like, don't care. And then I have another. He's the exact same. The exact same. Oh, thank you so much, Clara. You are so sweet. Finally hired. Vanessa says she hired a cleaning lady. Yes. You know what is so good about having a cleaning lady or cleaning person, whatever, is that it helps you to like you've got to tidy up. As long as you don't put things in the wrong spot, it'll help you get ahead for sure. Daily routine is something that I struggle with. Yes. Well, I have ADD too. I'm not hyperactive anymore, but I definitely, my focus is terrible. And that's why I truly do use my phone for so much. Like it reminds me, and my planner. Oh my gosh, my planner's here. You guys, Plum Planner, who I now actually have an affiliate code for because I've been using them for so long. This is my cover. I have interchangeable covers. So this is the summer one. Isn't it cute? And I put today is going to be a great day. Um, anyway, they have a sale coming on Monday. Use my link. You don't have to, but you could. And there's going to be 20% off. I guess I'll post about it on Monday. This is where I keep track of all the things like I want to get done. It helps me so much. Like I know a lot of us with ADHD, we hate it, but I will not remember what needs to get done. And I will just do some random thing. My husband, he is oh, he's worse because he doesn't use a schedule or planner or anything. And I'm like, like he will pick this random thing and think it's a priority. And I'm like, no, like this is the priority. Together we are a very funny household. Um yes, trash day is so fun. I help that kids respond. I find that kids respond well to helper jobs. Yeah, and actually, oh yes, that need to be done before screen time. Totally. Um, yeah, and yesterday when I was harvesting my garlic, I had a kid, he was getting a penalty. I think somebody asked me a question about this. Maybe it was on the other channel. I need to respond. But they said, what are the penalties? So if my kids don't listen right away now, they get a 2-hour penalty. I mean, it's not huge, but it certainly does incentivize them to listen. And it's 2 hours of, like, no screens at all, and, I mean, they're teenagers, right? So it's different. Like, they're almost 15 and almost 17, and the almost 17-year-old, for him, I just take his phone. My 14-year-old, like, almost 15, he does not want a phone, which is great. So, I just the only thing is I can't take it away, which is fine, which is fine. So, yeah. Um that's what I do. My kids think they're lawyers, but the crown always wins. Ah, I love it. That's so funny. Diana needs a bully. Yep. That's why I started my my intensives because some people they want somebody to kick their butt. And I was like, well, I'll do that for you. Helper jobs can be chores, anything, right? And so anyway, my kid, I made him, well, I didn't make him. Well, I kind of did. I said, help me harvest this garlic because he was doing a penalty. um, 2 hours off of a screen, and it was no problem. And then I, like, showed him how to, like, shake the dirt off, and he helped me bring it over, and then I had him rake the bed out, and I thought, like, "This is good." And then I figure, "Oh, I'll get him to help me, plant the garlic in October, and then he can see." That's pretty much all you do other than harvest the scapes in early or late June. Garlic's a great plant. Funny enough, the cleaning lady asked me so sincerely, "Why do you have so many empty glass jars?" That is hilarious. For me, it's funny too because, like, the jars, like, with the canning, it's just like a cycle, right? I do want chickens, you're right. That'll be next year because we just, like, finished the garden this year, thankfully. The husband was so the my husband uses it for his cigarettes and smoke and smell stays there. Oh, empty glass jar saved the marriage. That's great. I love that. Okay, here is another thing. The Fit Minimalist says how to stay motivated. Um, Oh, I lost it here. How to stay motivated other than tying it to your identity. Hmm. There are a lot of things that help me stay motivated. A big one, of course, is just like I will honestly say that having my planner on my to-do list is number one. Like you'll see, like this is like I've got YouTube stuff on here, right? Like it's a lot. So I've got like these squares. I always put squares next to things that have to get done and I check them off. I love checking them off. I have a couple things crossed out. I don't like crossing things out. So you got to figure out what you like and what you don't like. When I exercise, I give myself a sticker. I have used the same pack of stickers for like 5 or 6 years. That motivates me. Um Another huge one is that now that I am like 45 or almost 45 in less than a month, um I am really motivated by being a healthy person in my 90s. I just keep picturing myself being in my 90s and gardening and doing all of these things. And if you are not like fit and active, don't worry, you can get there. So um my goal is to be the grandma, the great grandma that is picking up my grandkids, and it is to be that lady in the garden. It's to be like an interesting town character. And um so now a big part of what motivates me at this stage of my life is being healthy. And I so strongly believe that your environment plays a major part in your health. I think that your um your environment is your shelter, right? Food, water, shelter. Food is important. Water is important. Shelter is important. You are keeping your precious self, your brain, all of that in your home. And it is very important that your environment is supporting you. And so that is a big thing that keeps me motivated. And I'm not perfect all of the time. And it's the same, like I will often use exercise as an example because um like I try to exercise most days and I often don't feel like it, but I just do. So I often end up exercising at like 4 or 5 p.m., which is a weird time. And I never, ever, ever would have thought I would, but I do. And the reason why is because I want to be healthy. And I know that that is probably not what a lot of people want to hear, but it just I think because in my family, like my grandpa has Alzheimer's, there's other family members who are unhealthy. I had a family member who died of a different kind of chronic illness, and I see it, and it's such a pain point for me that I move away from it. So if that is not you, then you need to figure out what motivates you. And what motivates you might be stickers. It might be checking off things. It might be having a cup of tea. These are all things that actually motivate me also. It might be treating yourself to dinner every week. I think that is wonderful. And I think that we only have one life and that the more things we can find to celebrate, the better. And I don't fear aging. Minimalist home living and aging. Oh, that's a good channel name too, Eliza. Elisa. You are so good at naming things. um, yeah, so that's my little rant, you guys. Hi, Sophie. I always love your little lobster. I have not used the Cozy app, but there are a lot of different apps and things you can use to motivate yourself. Like even if you put like a sticker on your calendar every day you declutter, right? And if you're like, my goal is to have 5 stickers a week or something like that. I want to be an old artist grandma that paints her grandchildren playing. I love that. And it's really funny because I was saying to my husband last night, what were we watching? Something. Oh, you guys know me and my farm series. We were watching Victorian Farm. I love it. The last episode, the July, August, because me and seasons, and they were making some woodworking thing. Oh, yeah, a cartwheel. And I was like, yeah, I think one day I could start woodworking. And my husband's like, how do you find hobbies so easily? And I just was like, I like to be busy and I love to make things. So that is one of my goals. Um, let's see what's this. I know it sounds totally off topic, but my goal is to become like Lisa Vanderpump. Dogs, chinas, businesses, and beautiful dresses with a husband and an English accent. She's a grandma too. I love it. Whatever floats your boat, I love it. It's so good. Let's see. And I'm glad you made it, Sam. Oh, yes, I remember that. Isn't that crazy when you got muted? She was like, I'll help support you. Actually, that's something. So in our Untangled group, we are starting accountability buddies. And so you have to have joined Untangled for that. But there we also have a public group. So you can also look for people there to be your accountability buddy. And how you do that is you just say like, I am going to actually you could even just post it in the group. Post it in the group and say like, I'm going to declutter my armoire today. Watch for my pictures later. That would be so good. I love that. A minimalist home, the geriatric years. I love it. I love it. A doctor once told me that each decade sets the tone for the next one. Oh, see, that's just it. Like, I have family members where I'm like, you guys, please. I've actually given up. I've given up. I made my video the other day where I said you can't care more than somebody else, and it's true. You can't care more than the actual person cares. And for a really long time, that's what I did. I wish I could stay longer, but I gotta go. Bye, CL. Clara says, I want to try the planner method to motivate you. Can you share your video about how to use the planner effectively? Oh, yes, I have one. It's from about August 2022, I think. Yes. That is, and I think in it, the thumbnail, I'm holding the planner and my phone because I actually use them together, but you don't have to. I am so excited for so in the Plum Planner, you can go in, you can use my link. You don't have to, but if you use my link, what you can do is you can create an account and then you can design your whole planner, which I already did for myself. I have it ready to go. You can save dates. So I have everybody's birthday in there. So let's see here. I have my grandpa's birthday, it says grandpa birthday. So it's printed in there. And so when you sign in, and I have stuff like Canada Day, because it's your country's, if you want, there's so many things you can customize, and you can choose the cover, you can get replaceable covers, you can choose the layouts, all of these things. So I have mine ready to go because they're having a 20% off sale on Monday. I'm so excited. Can you tell? And actually, I would go in I don't want to get up, but I have other covers and I will change it seasonally. So I have a fall one, but I always get a new planner in September. I always order it during this particular sale. And so I'll have a fall cover, and then I have one for winter. And I'm just a crazy person. And how I use my planner is I will write down on the month part, like anything really important. There's not usually too much on that one I use, but then because I use my phone for a lot, like anything that is an appointment, I have on my phone because I will forget. And then what I do is the previous, like whenever I feel like it, usually I'm just like, oh, it's Thursday. I feel like planning next week. So I will like get my planner out and my phone and I'll write any appointments down during the following week because I've got like the week layout. And then what? And then I will put down um like my ticky boxes and you can actually customize it. So like this, you can actually have it filled in like what you want. Like say you want to do like, I don't know, exercise, meal planning, blah, blah, blah. And then you can tick it off. And then I have like you write down for yourself what this is. So I got like my 3 main goals schedule, and at the bottom I put meals. That just helped me a lot. And I used to hate planners, and now I'm obsessed with it. It just helps me keep everything on track. Oh my gosh, that's the link for the planner video. Simone, did you post it in there? Did I see it? The planner video? Um, thank you. But I don't see it in the chat. The family calendar that everyone uses for the same reason all my family hates it. So that's the thing is I have a family calendar that we basically just put down like when my husband is working, anybody else. And then this is just for me. Bye, Kelsey. Yeah, I think like it's just like whatever works for you. It's so funny how like everybody's different. And that's the thing. Like some people are like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, I get it. So another question somebody asked is favorites in your garden. How often do you work as a nurse, and favorite homemade kombucha flavor? So favorites in the garden. I love growing potatoes. There's just something about home fresh potatoes. Maybe they're just like not starchy or something. They're so good. I love it. Garlic is so easy. Like you set it and forget it. You set it, you plant it in October or November, and then I harvest it in July. It's great. And I love I like to grow pumpkins literally just to put on my porch, and then I throw them in the bushes. And don't worry, they're not invasive where I live anyway. I don't know if they are anywhere. Um, and I, of course, like I grow all the things for salsa, tomatoes, peppers, onions. So I love my garden. How often are you working as a nurse? I'm working as a nurse, not too much right now, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I love it, but this YouTube and my coaching business are keeping me very busy. So I'm only working like every month or so. And then my favorite, and I love nursing, by the way, so that's just the thing. But where I live, there are, you have to have so many hours in 5 years. So got to keep an eye on that. Favorite homemade kombucha flavor. My favorite homemade kombucha flavor is ginger. And my kids is raspberry. So another question was, when I declutter, my family members want to take items to sell or keep for themselves. This is frustrating because the whole point is to get items out of the house. Totally get that. Often items that the family members take, they sit around. So what I would suggest in that situation is I would put a time limit on things. And I would just say, like, here's the thing. This is why we don't want clutter in the house. And you can explain how you're feeling about that, how it affects you. Um, because clutter is bad for us. Like, as I mentioned, I am like very freaking passionate about us having no clutter or very little clutter. And I think that one of the best things is just to say, like, okay, if you're going to keep this, I want to see you using it within a month, or I'm coming to take it away. And if you want to sell this, it needs to be sold. And another thing they said was that people want to like donate or sell it during the right season. And like, no, like, yes. And just like Megan says, selling has to have a deadline. And I 100% agree. There has to be a deadline. And like my nails, I'm getting them done. Actually, my nail salon had a car crash into it just yesterday, I think. Anyway, I think it'll be okay by next week. And not that I'm worried about that because I'm not. Everybody was fine. But oh yes, thank you. But I that's when I donate things. Is I go to the nail salon, and right next to it is the place where I can drop off things that I'm donating. And the other thing is, a lot of times, like, and that's so that has just become part of that routine. So you can say to your family, like, no, we're not going to keep these things for longer than this amount of time. Or you can say you could say like the first Saturday of the month is when I drop things off at the donation place. Okay, there's my plum planner link. Let me look here. Yvonne, you can't hear me? Oh my gosh. I think others can. So maybe just log out and log back in. 80% downsized Gina. Woohoo! That is awesome. Oh, I'm so glad that I've been a big help. And I'm glad you made it to your first live. That's so fun. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I see for me, because my house is big, I'm like, there's no need for us to like go, I would say crazy, like decluttering. But I can't like I'm not gonna say I can't wait for my kids to grow up because I can. Like they will be gone before I know it. So I'm not in a rush, but just you wait. Okay, my skin is flawless. I love that somebody said this. My skin is not flawless. I have rosacea, and actually, I just said to my husband because I ate tomatoes and peppers, so it just makes me get like little dots everywhere. So annoying. But what I use, like if I come closer, you'll be able to see a little bit more. Part of it is the camera I'm using, and part of it is I use a tinted moisturizer or makeup. So the tinted moisturizer I use is called Cetaphil Redness Solution. And even though Cetaphil is a Canadian company, I actually have to order it from the US, which is hilarious, but I love it. And it also has sunscreen in it. So whenever I'm anywhere, like when we went to Mexico, it just feels so good. Like it's like you have like your skin looks better, which is lovely. Yes, like a mountain of clothing. I totally get it. And I like that you do that, Elisa, with the gourds. Selling has to have a deadline. Yay. Um, Let me see here. Let me find that. Let me find that. I don't know. Oh, I found the link. I found the link. Here's the link for my planner video. It might be out of date now that I'm looking at it. It's actually from September 2021. And I think I did one in the last year or two where I was talking about how I schedule things because I'm just obsessed with it. And I probably will make another one soon. If I had known that this company was going to be doing a sale, I probably would have done it. I probably would have done it sooner, or probably would have made one then, which is fine. Okay, so it's so comforting to live minimally while waiting to move. Oh, I bet that is so great. Okay, so this should be the planner link. I have not seen it for 3 years and I don't remember it. But I did explain to you how I do my decluttering, so hopefully or how I use my planner, so hopefully that helps. Okay, let's get to another question. And if you guys have questions, put them in the chat. I do need to go soon. I forgot to take my acid reflux medication. I'm getting like acid. What are common pitfalls you see happening when people start decluttering that you think are avoidable? I love this question. Are there any trends that you see in popular culture that you strongly contributing to overabundance consumerism, like fast fashion and social media. I do think fast fashion is a big one. I think that, and I did a video just a couple weeks ago about like where I had all these boxes around me, and I talked about how we can just get stuff delivered to us so quickly, and how, in fact, it's actually easier to get stuff delivered to us than it is to even go to a store in a lot of situations. Um, and oh, I'll help you with that. Um, and so I think that's a big part of it. One of the people who commented on my video suggested only getting a delivery from Amazon monthly, and I loved that one. I think that is really, really handy. The other thing, and if Simone, if you're still here, if you saw the other one that wasn't that planner one from 2021, if there was a more recent one, if you could share it, that'd be great. So I think that yes, fast fashion and ordering things from Amazon, all of the things is one big thing that contributes to us creating more clutter. Another thing that I think is a common pitfall for when people start decluttering is that they give up. And that is because I think resistance comes into play. And resistance is basically just like anytime we start something new, our brain is like, this is fun. And then once it becomes not new, our brain is like, well, this is boring and I don't feel like doing this anymore. And that is why I think that creating that habit is so important, because when we have a habit that is just it's just part of your day. It's just part of your day to do that decluttering. And even if you um like even if you do get tired or whatever, using a planner or something will keep you going, because that's in there. Like that is just what helps me so much, because I am just like, I can't not be like, I want to tick this off. It feels like such a failure to me. It's hilarious. Um, and Claire says, thank you for the planner link. Yes, use it. And like I said, you can build your planner today and then order it on Monday, which would be so handy. I can't wait. Like, I'm going to be in Vancouver on Monday morning and I'm going to whip up my iPad and just hit like add to cart. I can't wait. I try not to shop at Amazon at all. I know. Ugh. Grocery deliverables can help with impulse buying. Yes, especially it would be great if Costco had that. But I know they have. Oh, okay. So the other one, Sophia asked, like, I have planners, I use them for a week and then I stop. Help. Okay. So I think that this would be a situation where if you have a smartphone and it can have an alarm, you could put down like schedule planner. And I'm trying to think. Okay, here's one thing. Like I decided I had never read the Bible and I have started, and wow, oh my gosh, I am now in the book of Samuel. And I do it right when I wake up. I make my tea, I sit down, and I read it. And I was like, we'll see how long this lasts. And I've been doing it for like 6 weeks now. And I'm very, very pleased that I've managed to keep going. And part of it is just that it's a non-negotiable. And in fact, because we're going away this weekend, I read ahead because I want to get done by the end of the year so then I can start the oh, what's her name? Tara Cobble, her thing. But anyway, so my thing is just like I just was like, this is a non-negotiable. Like this has to happen. And if you have a smartphone, you can put an alarm in it, but make it at a time of day where it's not the middle of the day, where it is easy for you to do it. You have to, or you have to. I suggest having the lowest barriers around at that time. Like the time so for me, it would be early in the morning, like when I first wake up, or it would be like after lunch. I think after lunch is a great time when we can remember to do things if we're home, or after dinner or whatever. If you can anchor it to something. So using your planner, if you like them, just and for me, actually, when I play with my planner, and I mean, I love it, is in the evening. If I'm watching TV or YouTube and I get my planner out and I like put it on my lap and I just start planning for the next week. It feels so good. And the reason why I like it is because it takes the think out of everything. It makes me not have to be like, oh, what am I going to do this day? What am I doing? Like, I even put down the things I need to get done in the garden yesterday. Like I needed to fertilize, I needed to trim and train the tomatoes and all of these other things. And it just was like, yes, like that helps me get things done. We want to tidy up some things. I can be like my husband has like motor oil he needs to drop off. And I can be like, this is in the planner. Please go do it. I mean, obviously I can't make him, but uh in Europe, there aren't people or a lot of clutter. Okay. I believe that's because they are content with what they have, and therefore they don't feel they need to purchase more stuff. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I definitely do have a lot of people from Europe who have clutter as well, but it may be less of an issue. And I think it might be this, which Terry says, which is we are constantly bombarded with advertising trying to convince us we need the latest thing. And I mean, I remember in the 80s watching TV, Saturday morning cartoons, and being like, ooh, right? Because that's when they could advertise toys to kids and cereal and all of these things. Welcome, Teresa. She has a question. She says, now my brother is going to be in my house for 1 to 2 months and we only have 3 days to clean and declutter. How do I start? Prioritize exactly where he is going to be first, probably the bedroom or wherever he's staying, and then like work your way back. And it's not a bad thing if you're still decluttering when he gets there, right? Like don't pressure yourself to get it all done. Pressure I'm not gonna say pressure yourself at all, but I definitely obviously you need to like make room for him. So start there, prioritize. Like I would be like whoop, whoop, whoop. Like this is like emergency, not really, but like what do I do first? Oh my gosh, yes. Self-esteem seems to be at root. Yes, absolutely. And it's like Simone, you had said during one of our calls in the past, like that you matter. And that's why I always say to you guys, like it's so important your environment because you matter. Your home matters. All of this is the bear series. Is that you mean the bear like the cooking one? Hello Kitty planner. I try it, but I stop after a week. I'll try to start early in the morning. Yes, I love my planner. Dissatisfaction is a big factor in buying and building up clutter. Yes. And another thing, I was talking to a client who she had already gone on like a buying fast. She had not bought anything for the first 6 months of the year, which I thought was lovely. Okay, let me see if there's any questions I missed. Oh, last one. Canned preserved salmon. If my memory serves me, you mentioned once that you put salmon in jars. Please, could I have the recipe? So what I do actually, it's funny. My husband, I wish he was a fisherman and had boats, but that would probably cost more than buying salmon. I actually just buy our salmon at Costco and I cut it up and I put it in like the small little jars and I add like half the amount of salt that ball or the National Home Preservation, like it's a US thing, what they recommend, just half the salt. And then process it as you normally would for 100 minutes. I wouldn't normally give out a recipe or know it, but it's very simple. And it is so handy because then you have cooked salmon ready to put on your meals. And that is actually one of the ways that I meet my daily protein requirements is having a salad. So I get my vegetables and my protein. I have vegetables before breakfast. I have vegetables with lunch, and I have salmon or chicken or whatever every day. So I'm like ready to go. Okay. Any more questions? It's been an hour. I need to go and take my heartburn medication. I don't see any more, which is great. You guys are wonderful. Yeah. So please make sure you're still subscribed. It's just been so lovely to chat with you. I just absolutely love it. We're gonna have another one in a couple weeks, so stay tuned. Lots of fun things coming, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see